Raymond got the Bible, thumb on the spine. Isaiah signed the verse at the pace at the time. 90 days, no flex, just pages and grind. From Genesis to Revelation, he's walking the line. Early in the morning, before the world calls. One chapter at a time, he don't skip, he don't stop. He read it in the dark, then he read it again. What started as a seed turned the room into amen. From the first book to the last page, keep the fire lit, keep the heart engaged. One day, one word, one step, one breath. Raymond stay faithful to the finish of the test. 90-day Bible read, 90-day Bible read, Genesis to Revelation. 90-day Bible read, read it. Raymond on the word, Raymond on the word. Isaiah on the journey, and the truth gets heard. He got a pen in his hand, marks in the margin, promises underlined like he's building the garden. Psalms for the hurt, Proverbs for the walk, Gospels for the hunger when the night get dark. You don't need a stage, he don't need a crown, just a quiet little yes when the pressure come down. And every chapter hit like a fresh new lane, from the old world dust to the lamb's bright rain. From the first book to the last page, keep the fire lit, keep the heart engaged. One day, one word, one step, one breath. Raymond stay faithful to the finish of the test. 90-day Bible read, 90-day Bible read, Genesis to Revelation. 90-day Bible read, read it. Raymond on the word, Raymond on the word. Isaiah on the journey, and the truth gets heard. Feel tired, he still turns the page with the holy desire. No fast talk, no smoke, just the soul in tune. Morning after morning till the whole book bloom. 90-day Bible read, 90-day Bible read, Genesis to Revelation. 90-day Bible read, read it. Raymond on the word, Raymond on the word. Journey, and the truth gets heard.
All right, good morning, everybody. This is day number 11 of the 90-day Bible challenge. I hope this blesses you like it's been blessing me. I'm not gonna say too much, but let's get right into it. Let's let Isaiah do his thing.
Gentlemen, welcome to day number 11. We've made it this far of the Bible in 90 days, where we go live every single day at 2 p.m. to read the Bible until we finish it in 90 days, which is why it's called the Bible in 90 days. Who would have guessed? Today we're in Numbers chapter 9. We made it through Leviticus. Jared did yesterday's. Today we are in Numbers 9. So get your Bibles out. If you're just jumping on, don't feel stressed. Don't feel pressure. You can join wherever we are in the Bible and just follow along. Set your alarm at 2 o'clock. Share this with friends and family. Make it a fun thing. Get your family together, order food. I don't know. Make it fun and make it something your kids look forward to, part of your daily routine. Getting the word of God, getting fed by his word. This is something we feel God called us to, so we're going to do it. All right, Numbers chapter 9. Here we go in verse 1. A year after Israel's departure from Egypt, the Lord spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Mount Sinai. Of Sinai. It's not a good start there. First verse, can't even read it. In the first month of that year, he said, "Tell the Israelites to celebrate the Passover at the prescribed time. At twilight on the 14th day of the first month, be sure to follow all my decrees and regulations concerning the celebration." So Moses told the people to celebrate Passover in the wilderness of Sinai as twilight fell on the 14th day of the month. And they celebrated the festival there, just as the Lord commanded Moses. But some of the men who had been ceremonially defiled by touching a dead body, so they could not celebrate the Passover that day, they came to Moses and Aaron that day. They said, "We've become ceremonially unclean by touching a dead body, but why should we be presented from presenting the Lord's offerings the proper time with the rest of the Israelites?" Moses answered, wait here until I've received instructions for you from the Lord." This is what the Lord replied to Moses. "Give the following instructions to the people of Israel. If any of the people now or in the future generations are ceremonially unclean at Passover time because of the touching of a dead body, or if they're on a journey and cannot present themselves at the ceremony, they may celebrate the Lord's Passover. They must offer the Passover sacrifice 1 month later at the twilight on the 14th day of the second month. They must eat the Passover lamb at the time with bitter salad greens and bread made without yeast. They must not leave any of the lamb until the next morning, and they must not break any of its bones. They must follow all the normal regulations concerning the Passover. For those who neglect to celebrate the Passover at the regular time, even though they're ceremonially clean and not away on a trip, will be cut off from the community of Israel. If they fail to present the Lord's offering at the proper time, they will suffer the consequences of their guilt. And if foreigners living among you want to celebrate the Passover of the Lord, they must follow these same decrees and regulations." My mind went blank there. I lost my place. Same law applies both to the native-born Israelites and to the foreigners living among you. On the day the tabernacle was set up, the cloud covered it. But from the evening until the morning, the cloud over the tabernacle looked like a pillar of fire. This was the regular pattern. At night, the cloud covered the tabernacle. The cloud that covered the tabernacle had the appearance of fire. Whenever the cloud lifted from among the sacred tent, the people of Israel would break camp and follow it. And whenever the cloud settled, the people of Israel would set up camp. In this way, they traveled and camped to the Lord's command at the Lord's command wherever he told them to go. Then they remained in their camp as long as the cloud stayed over the tabernacle. If the cloud remained over the tabernacle for a long time, the Israelites stayed and performed their duty to the Lord. Sometimes the cloud would stay over the tabernacle for only a few days, so the people would stay for only a few days as the Lord commanded. Then at the Lord's command, they would break camp and move on. The point is, follow the cloud, not the crowd. Wherever the Lord's taking you, wherever the Lord's going, follow him. Sometimes the cloud only stayed overnight and lifted the next morning. But day or night, when the cloud lifted, the people broke camp and moved on. Whether the cloud stayed above the tabernacle for 2 days, a month, or a year, the people of Israel stayed in camp and did not move on. But as soon as it lifted, they broke camp and moved on. So they camped or traveled to the Lord's command or at the Lord's command, and they did whatever the Lord told them through Moses. Chapter 10, the silver trumpets. Now the Lord said to Moses, "Make 2 trumpets of hammered silver for calling the community to assemble and for signaling the breaking of camp. When both trumpets are blown, everyone must gather before you at the entrance of the tabernacle. But if only one trumpet is blown, then only the leaders, the heads of the clans of Israel, must present themselves to you. When you sound the signal to move on, the tribes camped on the east side of the tabernacle must break camp and move forward. When you sound the signal a second time, the tribes camped on the south will follow. You must sound short blasts as the signal for moving on. But when you call the people to an assembly, blow the trumpets with a different signal. Only the priests, Aaron's descendants, are allowed to blow the trumpets. This is a permanent law for you to be observed from generation to generation. When you arrive in your own land and go to war against your enemies who attack you, sound the alarm with the trumpets. Then the Lord your God will remember you and rescue you from your enemies. Blow the trumpets in times of gladness too, sounding them at your annual festivals and at the beginning of each month. And blow the trumpets over your burnt offerings and peace offerings. The trumpets will remind your God of his covenant. Remind your God of his covenant with you. I am the Lord your God. In the second year after Israel's departure from Egypt, on the 20th day of the second month, the cloud lifted from the tabernacle of the covenant. So the Israelites set out from the wilderness of Sinai and traveled from place to place until the cloud stopped in the wilderness of Paran. When the people set out for the first time, following the instructions the Lord had given through Moses, Judah's troops led the way. They marched behind their banner, and their leader was Nashon, son of Amminadab. They were joined by the troops of the tribe of Issachar, led by Nethanel, son of Zur, and the troops of the tribe of Zebulun, led by Eliab, son of Helon. Then the tabernacle was taken down, and the Gershonite and Merarite divisions of the Levites were next in the line of march, carrying the tabernacle with them. Reuben's troops were next, marching behind their banner. Their leader was Elazar, son of Shedeur. They were joined by the troops of the tribe of Simeon, led by Shelumiel, son of Zerushaddai, and the troops of the tribe of Gad, led by Elisaph, son of Del. Next came to the Kohathite division of the Levites, carrying the sacred objects from the tabernacle. Before they arrived at the next camp, the tabernacle would already be set up at its new location. Ephraim's troops went next, marching behind their banner. Their leader was Elishama, son of Ammihud. They were joined by the troops of the tribe of Manasseh, led by Gamaliel, son of Pedazur, and the troops of the tribe of Benjamin, led by Abidan, son of Gideoni. They're sneaking the lineage in here, guys. They know I'm going to skip through the genealogy, so they're just sneaking it in on me. Dan's troops went last, marching behind their banner and serving as the rear guard for all the tribal camps. Their leader was Ahiezer, son of Amishadai. They were joined by the troops of the tribe of Asher, led by Pagiel, son of Ochran, and the troops of the tribe of Naphtali, led by Ahura, son of Enan. This was the order in which the Israelites marched division by division. One day Moses said to his brother-in-law, Hobab, son of the Reuel the Midianite, man, these names, help me, Lord. We are on our way to the place the Lord has promised us, for he said, I will give it to you. Come with us and we'll treat you well, for the Lord has promised wonderful blessings for Israel. But Hobab replied, no, I will not go. I must return to my own family and land. Please don't leave us, Moses pleaded. You know the place in the wilderness where we should camp. Come, be our guide. If you do, we'll share with you all the blessings the Lord has given us. They marched for 3 days after leaving the mountain of the Lord with the ark of the Lord's covenant moving ahead of them to show where to stop and rest. As they moved each day, the cloud of the Lord hovered over them. Whenever the ark set out, Moses would shout, arise, O Lord, and let your enemies be scattered. Let them flee before you. And when the ark was set down, he would say, return, O Lord, to the countless thousands of Israel. Chapter 11, the people complained to Moses. Soon the people began to complain about their hardship, and the Lord heard everything they said. Then the Lord blazed against them, and he set a fire to rage among them, and he destroyed some of the people in the outskirts of the camp. Then the people screamed to Moses for help, and when he prayed the Lord, the fire stopped. After that, the area was known as Taberah, which means the place of burning, because fire from the Lord had burned among them there. Then the foreign rabble who were traveling with the Israelites began to crave the good things of Egypt. And the people of Israel began to complain. Oh, for some meat, they exclaimed. We remember the fish we used to eat for free in Egypt, and we had all the cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, and garlic we wanted. The enemy will always allow you to remember the good things of your past, but never the bad things. You remember all the good stuff that was in the world, but you never remember the depression, the anxiety, the fear. Preach. But now our appetites are gone. All we ever see is this manna. The manna looked like small coriander seeds, and it was pale yellow like gum resin. The people would go out and gather it from the ground. They made flour by grinding it with hand mills or pounding it in the mortars. Then they boiled it in a pot and made it into flat cakes. These cakes tasted like pastries baked with olive oil. The manna came down on the camp with dew during the night. Moses heard all the family standing in the doorways of their tents whining, and the Lord became extremely angry. Moses was also aggravated. And Moses said to the Lord, why are you treating me, your servant, so harshly? Have mercy on me. What did I do to deserve the burden of all these people? Said every pastor ever. Did I give birth to them? Did I bring them into the world? Why did you tell me to carry them in my arms like a mother carries a nursing baby? How can I carry them to the land that you swore to give their ancestors? Where am I supposed to go to get meat for all these people? They keep whining, saying, give us meat to eat. I can't carry all these people by myself. The load is too heavy. If this is how you intend to treat me, just go ahead and kill me. Do me a favor and spare me this misery. It's okay to be honest with God. Then the Lord said to Moses, gather me 70 men who are recognized as elders and leaders of Israel. Bring them to the tabernacle to stand there with you. I will come down and talk to you there. I will take some of the spirit that is upon you, and I'll put the spirit upon them also. They will bear the burden of the people along with you, so you'll not have to carry it alone. And say to the people, purify yourselves, for tomorrow you'll have meat to eat. You were whining, and the Lord heard you when you cried, oh, for some meat. We were better off in Egypt. Now the Lord will give you meat, and you'll have to eat it. And it won't be for just a day or two, or 5 or 10, or even 20. You'll eat it for an entire month, until you gag and you're sick of it. For you've rejected the Lord who is here among you, and you've whined to him, saying, why did we ever leave Egypt? So be careful what you complain about, because the Lord might give you what you're complaining about, and you might not like it as much as you think. But Moses responded to the Lord, there are 600,000 foot soldiers with me, and yet you say, I will give them meat for an entire month? Even if we butchered all of our flocks and herds, would that satisfy them? Even if we caught every fish in the sea, would that be enough? Then the Lord said to Moses, has my arm lost its power? Now you'll see whether or not my words come true. Verse 24, So Moses went out and reported the Lord's words to the people. He gathered the 70 elders and stationed them around the tabernacle. And the Lord came down in the cloud and spoke to Moses. Then he gave the 70 elders the same spirit that was upon Moses, and the spirit rested upon them. They prophesied, but this never happened again. 2 men, Eldad and Medad, imagine your name being Medad. What's up, Medad? Had stayed behind in the camp. They were listed among the elders, but they had not gone out to the tabernacle. Yet the spirit rested upon them as well, so they prophesied there in the camp. A young man, not a ram, a young man ran and reported to Moses, Eldad and Medad are prophesying in the camp. Joshua, son of Nun, who had been Moses' assistant since his youth, protested, Moses, my master, make them stop. They must have been in John MacArthur's church because they were mad that they're prophesying. But Moses said, are you jealous for my sake? I wish that all the Lord's people were prophets and that the Lord would put his spirit upon them all. Then Moses returned to the camp with the elders of Israel. Now the Lord sent a wind that brought quail from the sea and let them fall around the camp. For miles in every direction, there were quail flying about 3 feet above the ground. So the people went out and caught the quail all day and throughout the night and the next day too. No one gathered less than 50 bushels. They spread the quail all around the camp to dry. But while they were gorging themselves on the meat, while it was still in their mouths, the anger of the Lord blazed against them and struck them with a severe plague. So that place was called Kibroth Hattaavah, which means graves of gluttony, because there they buried the people who had craved the meat from Egypt. From Kibroth Hattaavah, the Israelites traveled to Hazeroth, where they stayed for some time. Chapter 12. While they were at Hazeroth, Miriam and Aaron criticized Moses because he married a Cushite woman. They said, has the Lord spoken only through Moses? Hasn't he spoken through us too? But the Lord heard them. Now Moses was very humble, more humble than any person on earth. So immediately the Lord called to Moses, Aaron, and Miriam and said, go out to the tabernacle, all 3 of you. So they went out all 3 to the tabernacle. Then the Lord descended in a pillar of cloud and stood at the entrance of the tabernacle. Aaron and Miriam he called, and they stepped away. Then the Lord said, now listen what I have to say. If there were prophets among you, I, the Lord, would reveal myself in visions. I would speak in dreams, but not with my servant Moses. Of all my house, he's the one that I trust. I speak to him face to face, clearly and not in riddles. He sees the Lord as he is. So why are you not afraid to criticize my servant Moses? The Lord was very angry and he departed. As the cloud moved from above the tabernacle, there stood Miriam, her skin as white as snow from leprosy. When Aaron saw what had happened, he cried out to Moses, oh, my master, please don't punish us for the sin that we've so foolishly committed. Don't let her be like a stillborn baby, already decayed at birth. So Moses cried out, oh God, I beg you, please heal her. But the Lord said to Moses, if her father had done nothing more than spit in her face, wouldn't she be defiled for 7 days? So keep her outside the camp for 7 days, and after that, she could be accepted back. So Miriam was kept outside the camp for 7 days, and the people waited until she was brought back before they traveled again. Then they left Hazeroth, and they camped in the wilderness of Paran. Then the Lord said to Moses, send out men to explore the land of Canaan, the land I'm giving the Israelites. Send one leader from each of the 12 ancestral tribes. So Moses did as the Lord commanded. He sent out 12 men, all the tribal leaders of Israel, for their camps in the wilderness of Paran, from their camp in the wilderness of Paran. These were the tribes of the names of the leaders: Reuben, Simeon, Judah, Issachar, Ephraim, Benjamin, Zebulun, Manasseh, Dan, Asher, Naphtali, and Gad. These are the names of the men Moses sent out to explore the land. Moses called Hoshea, son of Nun, by the name Joshua. Moses gave the men these instructions as he sent them out. Go through the land, go through the Negev into the hill country. See what the land is like and find out whether the people living there are strong or weak, few or many. See what kind of land they live in. Is it good or bad? Do they have towns? Oh my gosh, my nose is so itchy. Do they have town walls or are they unprotected like open camps? Is the soil fertile or poor? Are there many trees? Do your best to bring back samples of the crops you see. So they went and explored the land from the wilderness of Zin as far as Rehob, near Lebo Hamath. Going north, they passed through the Negev, and they arrived at Hebron, where Ahiman, Shisha, and Talmah, all descendants of Anak, lived. When they came to the valley of Eshcol, they cut down a branch with a single cluster of grapes, so large that it took 2 of them to carry on a pole between them. They also brought back samples of the pomegranates and figs. The place was called the Valley of Eshcol, which means cluster, because of the cluster of grapes the Israelite men cut there. After exploring the land for 40 days, the men returned to Moses, Aaron, and the whole community of Israel at Kadesh in the wilderness of Paran. They reported to the whole community what they had seen and showed them the fruit that they had taken from the land. This was the report to Moses. We entered the land you sent us to explore, and it's indeed a bountiful country, a land flowing with milk and honey. Here's the kind of fruit it produces. But the people living there are powerful, and their towns are large and fortified. We even saw giants there, the descendants of Anak. The Amalekites live in the Negev, and the Hittites, Jebusites, and Amorites live in the hill country. The Canaanites live along the coast of the Mediterranean Sea and along the Jordan Valley. But Caleb tried to quiet the people as they stood before Moses. Let's go at once and take the land, he said. We can certainly conquer it. But the other men who explored the land with him disagreed. We can't go up against them. They're stronger than we are. So they spread this bad report about the land among the Israelites. This land we traveled through and explored will devour anyone who goes to live there. All the people we saw were huge. We even saw giants there, the descendants of Anak. Next to them, we felt like grasshoppers, and that is what they thought too. The crazy part is they don't even know what those people thought because they never talked to them. So be very careful about what your enemy has to say about you. Preach, or what you think your enemies have to say about you. Chapter 14. The people rebel. Then the whole community began weeping aloud, and they cried all night. Their voices rose in a great chorus of protest against Moses and Aaron. If only we died in Egypt, or even here in the wilderness, they complained. Why has the Lord taken us to this country only to have us die in battle? Our wives and our little ones will be carried off as plunder. Wouldn't it be better for us to return to Egypt? Then they plotted among themselves. Let's choose a new leader and go back to Egypt. Then Moses and Aaron fell face on the ground in front of the whole community of Israel. Two of the men who had explored the land, Joshua son of Nun and Caleb son of Jephunneh, tore their clothing. They said to all the people, the land we traveled and explored is a wonderful land, and if the Lord is pleased, he'll bring us safely in the land and give it to us. It is a rich land flowing with milk and honey. Do not rebel against the Lord, and do not be afraid of the people in the land. They're only helpless prey to us. They have no protection, but the Lord is with us. Do not be afraid of them. But the whole community began to talk about stoning Joshua and Caleb. I mean, you bring good news and people want to stone you. That's crazy. Then the glorious presence of the Lord appeared to the Israelites in the tabernacle. And the Lord said to Moses, how long will these people treat me with contempt? Will they never believe me even after all the miraculous signs I've done among them? I will disown them and destroy them with a plague. Then I will make them into a nation, or you into a nation greater and mightier than they are. But Moses objected. What will the Egyptians think when they hear about it? He asked the Lord. They know full well the power you displayed in rescuing the people from Egypt. Now, if you destroy them, the Egyptians will send you a report to the inhabitants of the land, who have already heard that you live among your people. They know, They know, Lord, that you have appeared to your people face to face, and that your pillar of cloud hovers over them. They know that you go before them in the pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night. Now, if you slaughter these people with a single blow, the nations that have heard of your fame will say, the Lord was not able to bring them in the land that he swore to give them, so he killed them all in the wilderness. Please, Lord, prove that your power is as great as you've claimed, for you have said, the Lord is slow to anger and filled with unfailing love, forgiving every kind of sin and rebellion. But he does not excuse the guilty. He lays the sin of the parents upon their children. The entire family is affected, even the children in the third and fourth generations. In keeping with your magnificent, unfailing love, please pardon the sins of the people, just as you forgave them just as you have forgiven them ever since they left Egypt. Then the Lord said, I will pardon them as long as you have requested. But as surely as I live, and as surely as the earth is filled with the Lord's glory, not one of these people will ever enter the land. They have all seen my glorious presence and the miraculous signs I performed both in Egypt and in the wilderness. But again and again, they've tested me by refusing to listen to my voice. They will never even see the land I swore to give their ancestors. None of those who have treated me with contempt will ever see it. But my servant Caleb has a different attitude than the others have. He has remained loyal to me, so I'll bring him in the land that he explored. His descendants will possess their full share of that land. Now turn around and don't go towards the land where the Amalekites and Canaanites live. Tomorrow you must set out in the wilderness in the direction of the Red Sea. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, how long must I put up with this wicked community and its complaints against me? Yes, I heard the complaints of the Israelites that were making against me. Now tell them this, as surely as I live, declares the Lord, I will do to you the very things I heard you say. You will all drop dead in the wilderness. Isn't it crazy they're complaining like, if we just going to die here. We might as well just die. And the Lord's like, oh, you're complaining? You're going to get what you're complaining about. Because you complained against me, every one of you who is 20 years old or older was included in the registration will die. You will not enter and occupy the land I swore to give you. The only exception, how many of you want to be God's exception, will be Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun. You said your children would be carried off as plunder, while I'll bring them safely into the land, and they'll enjoy what you have despised. But as for you, you'll drop dead in the wilderness, and your children will be like shepherds, wandering in the wilderness for 40 years. In this way, they will pay for your faithlessness, until the last of you lies dead in the wilderness. Because your men explored the land for 40 days, you must wander for 40 years, a year for each day. Oh, I would not want to be here. Suffering the consequences of your sins. Then you will discover what it's like to have me for an enemy. You never, look at this, you never ever want that to be you. Then you'll discover what it's like to have me for an enemy. I, the Lord, have spoken. I will certainly do these things to every member of the community who has conspired against me. They will be destroyed here in the wilderness, and here they will die. Then 10 men Moses had sent out to explore the land, the ones who incited rebellion against the Lord with their bad report, were struck dead with the plague before the Lord. Of the 12 who had explored the land, only Joshua and Caleb remained alive. When Moses reported the Lord's words to all the Israelites, the people were filled with grief. Then they got up early the next morning and went to the top of the range of hills. Let's go, they said. We realize that we have sinned, but now we're ready to enter the land the Lord has promised us. But Moses said, why are you now disobeying the Lord's orders to return to the wilderness? It won't work. Do not go into the land now. You'll only be crushed by your enemies because the Lord is not with you. Ladies and gentlemen, that is scary. The Lord is not with you. When you face the Amalekites and the Canaanites in battle, you'll be slaughtered. The Lord will abandon you because you have abandoned the Lord. Oof. But the people defiantly pushed ahead toward the hill country. Even neither Moses nor the ark of the Lord's covenant left the camp. Then the Amalekites and the Canaanites who lived in those hills came down and attacked them and chased them back as far as Hormah. Chapter 15. Oh man, here we go. Laws concerning offerings. Then the Lord told Moses, give the following instructions to the people of Israel. When you finally settle in the land I'm giving you, you will offer special gifts as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. These gifts may take form of burnt offerings, a sacrifice to fulfill a vow, a voluntary offering, or an offering at any of your annual festivals. And they may be taken from your herd of cattle along with your flocks of sheep and goats. When you present these offerings, you must also give the Lord a grain offering of 2 quarts of choice flour mixed with 1 quart of olive oil. For each lamb offered as a burnt offering or a special sacrifice, you must also present 1 quart of wine as a liquid offering. If the sacrifice is a ram, give a grain offering of 4 quarts of choice flour mixed with a gallon of olive oil, and give 1/3 of a gallon of wine as a liquid offering. This will be a pleasing aroma to the Lord. When you present a young bull as a burnt offering, or as a sacrifice to fulfill a vow, or as a peace offering to the Lord, you must also give a grain offering of 6 quarts of choice flour mixed with 2 quarts of olive oil, and give 2 quarts of wine as a liquid offering. This will be a special gift, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. Each sacrifice of a bull, ram, lamb, potato, tomato, what's that one song? Turkey, lettuce, cheese, or a young goat should be prepared in this way. Follow these instructions with each offering you present. All of you native-born Israelites must follow all these instructions when you offer a special gift as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. And if any of the foreigners you visit or live among you want to present a special gift as a pleasing aroma to the Lord, they must follow these same procedures. Native-born Israelites and foreigners are equal before the Lord, and they're subject to the same decrees. This is a permanent law for you, to be observed from generation to generation. The same instructions and regulations will apply to you and the foreigners living among you. Then the Lord said to Moses, give the following instructions to the people of Israel. When you arrive in the land where I'm taking you, and you eat the crops that grow there, you must set some aside as a sacred offering to the Lord. Present a cake. Present a cake from the first of the flour you grind, and set it aside as a sacred offering, as you do with the first grain from the threshing floor. Throughout the generations to come, you are to present an offering or a sacred offering to the Lord each year from the first of your ground flour. But suppose you unintentionally fail to carry out these commands that the Lord has given through Moses. And suppose your descendants in the future fail to do everything the Lord has commanded. If the mistake was unintentional and the community was unaware of it, the whole community must present a young bull for a burnt offering as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. It must be offered along with its prescribed grain offering and liquid offering, and with one male goat for a sin offering. With it, the priest will purify the whole community of Israel, making them right with the Lord. And then they will be forgiven, for it was unintentional sin, and they have corrected it with their offerings to the Lord, their special gift and their sin offering. The whole community of Israel will be forgiven, including the foreigners living among you, for all the people were involved in the sin. If one individual commits an unintentional sin, the guilty person must bring a 1-year female goat for the sin offering. I thought we got all through this in Leviticus. What is going on here? The priest will sacrifice it to purify the guilty person before the Lord, and that person will be forgiven. The same instructions apply to both the native Israelites and the foreigners living among you. But those who brazenly violate the Lord's will, whether native or born Israelites or foreigners, have blasphemed the Lord, and they must be cut off from the entire community. Since they have treated the Lord's word with contempt and deliberately disobeyed his command, they must be completely cut off and suffer the punishment for their guilt. Verse 32. Ooh, that's a long verse, or a long chapter. One day while the people of Israel were in the wilderness, they discovered a man gathering wood on the Sabbath. The people who found him doing this took him before Moses and Aaron and the rest of the community. I mean, they straight snitched. That's all there is to it. They held him in custody because they didn't know what to do with him. Then the Lord said to Moses, the man must be put to death. The whole community must stone him outside the camp. So the whole community took the man outside the camp and stoned him to death, just as the Lord commanded Moses. Then the Lord said to Moses, give the following instructions to the people of Israel. Throughout the generations to come, you must make tassels for your hems of your clothing and attach them with a blue cord. When you see the tassels, you remember and obey all the commands of the Lord instead of following your own desires and defiling yourselves as you are prone to do. The tassels will help you remember that you must obey all the commands and be holy to your God. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, that I might be your God. I am the Lord your God. All right, chapter 16. I think we are going to chapter 21. Okay, so we're doing good. We're doing good here. Chapter 16, Korah's rebellion. One day, Korah, son of Izhar, a descendant of Kohath, son of Levi, conspired with Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, son of Peleth, from the tribe of Reuben. That is, how do you fit that many names in one verse? That's amazing. They incited a rebellion against Moses, along with 250 other leaders, all prominent members of the assembly. They united against Moses and Aaron and said, you have gone too far. The whole community of Israel has been set apart by the Lord, and he's with all of us. Oh, they're like, you're not nothing special. What right do you have to act as though you're greater than the rest of the Lord's people? When Moses heard what they were saying, he fell face down on the ground. Then he said to Korah and his followers, tomorrow morning the Lord will show us who belongs to him and who is holy. The Lord will allow only those he selects to enter his own presence. Korah, you and all your fellow followers must prepare your incense burners. Excuse me. Light fires in them tomorrow and burn incense before the Lord. Then we'll see who the Lord chooses as his holy one. You Levites are the ones who have gone too far. Then Moses spoke again to Korah. Now listen, you Levites. Does it seem insignificant to you that the God of Israel has chosen you from among all the community of Israel to be near him so you can serve in the Lord's tabernacle and stand before the people to minister to them? Korah, he's already given us this special ministry to you and your fellow Levites. Are you now demanding the priesthood as well? Remember, God was the one that chose the high priest and the priesthood, not people. The Lord is the one you and your followers are really revolting against. For who is Aaron that you're complaining about him? Then Moses summoned Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, but they replied, we refuse to come before you. Isn't it enough that you brought us out of Egypt, a land flowing with milk and honey, to kill us here in the wilderness? And now you treat us like we're your subjects? What more? You haven't brought us to another land flowing with milk and honey. You haven't given us a new homeland with fields and vineyards. Aren't you trying to fool these men? We will not come. Then Moses became very angry and said to the Lord, do not accept their grain offerings. I have not taken so much as a donkey from them. I've never heard a single one of them. And Moses said to Korah, you and all your followers must come here tomorrow and present yourselves before the Lord. Aaron will also be here. You and each of your 200 followers must present an incense burner and put incense on it so you can all present them before the Lord. Aaron will also bring his incense burner. So each of these men prepared an incense burner, lit the fire, and placed incense on it. Then they all stood at the entrance of the tabernacle with Moses and Aaron. Meanwhile, Korah had stirred up the entire community against Moses and Aaron, and they all gathered at the tabernacle entrance. Then the glorious presence of the Lord appeared to the whole community. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Get away from all these people so that I might instantly destroy them." But Moses and Aaron fell face down on the ground. "Oh God," they pleaded, "you are the God who gives breath to all creatures. Must you be angry with all these people when only one man sins?" And the Lord said to Moses, "Then tell all the people to get away from the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram." So Moses got up and rushed over to the tents of Dathan and Abiram, followed by the elders of Israel. "Quick," he told the people, "get away from the tents of the wicked men. Do not touch anything that belongs to them. If you do, you'll be destroyed for their sins." So all the people stood back from the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. Then Dathan and Abiram came out and stood at the entrance of their tents, together with their wives and children and little ones. And Moses said, "This is how you'll know the Lord has sent me to do all these things I've done, for I've not done them on my own. If these men die a natural death, or if nothing unusual happens to them, then the Lord has not sent me. But if the Lord does something entirely new, and the ground opens its mouth and swallows them and all their belongings, and they go down alive into the grave, then you'll know that these men have shown contempt for the Lord." He had hardly finished speaking the words when the ground suddenly split open beneath them. The earth opened its mouth and swallowed the men, along with their households and all their followers standing with them and everything they owned. So they went down alive into the grave, along with all their belongings. The earth closed over them, and they all vanished from among the people of Israel. That is crazy. Wow. All the people around them fled, and when they heard screams, "The earth will swallow us too," they cried. The fire blazed forth from the Lord and burned up the 250 men who were offering incense. And the Lord said to Moses, "Tell Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, to pull all the incense burners from the fire, for they are holy. Also tell them to scatter the burning coals. Take the incense burners of these men who have sinned at the cost of their lives and hammer metal into a thin sheet to overlay the altar. Since these burners were used in the Lord's presence, they have become holy. Let them serve as a warning to the people of Israel." So Eleazar the priest collected 250 bronze incense burners that had been used by the men who died in the fire, and the bronze that was hammered in a thin sheet to overlay the altar. This would warn the Israelites that no unauthorized person and no one who was not a descendant of Aaron should ever enter the Lord's presence to burn incense. If anyone did, the same thing would happen to him that happened to Korah and his followers. So the Lord's instructions to Moses were carried out. But the very next morning, the whole community of Israel began muttering again against Moses and Aaron, saying, "You have killed the Lord's people." As the community gathered to protest against Moses and Aaron, they returned towards the tabernacle and saw that the cloud had covered it, and the glorious presence of the Lord appeared. Moses and Aaron came and stood in front of the tabernacle, and the Lord said to Moses, "Get away from all these people so that I can instantly destroy them." But Moses and Aaron fell face down on the ground. And Moses said to Aaron, "Quick, take an incense burner and place burning coals on it from the altar. Lay incense on it and carry it among the people to purify them and make them right with the Lord. The Lord's anger is blazing against them. The plague has already begun." Aaron did as Moses told him and ran out among the people. The plague had already begun to strike down the people, and Aaron burned the incense and purified the people. He stood between the dead and the living, and the plague stopped. But 14,700 people died in that plague, in addition to those who died in the affair involving Korah. Then, because the plague had stopped, Aaron returned to Moses at the entrance of the tabernacle. Chapter 17. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Tell the people of Israel to bring you 12 wooden staffs, one from each of the leaders of Israel's ancestral tribes, and inscribe each leader's name on the staff. Inscribe Aaron's name on the staff of the tribe of Levi, for there must be one staff for the leader of each ancestral tribe. Place these staffs in the tabernacle in front of the ark containing the tablets of the covenant, where I meet with you. Buds will sprout on the staff belonging to the man that I choose. Then I'll have finally put an end to the people's murmuring, complaining against you." So Moses gave the instructions to Israel, and each of the 12 tribe leaders, including Aaron, brought Moses a staff. Moses placed the staffs in the Lord's presence in the tabernacle of the covenant. When he went to the tabernacle of the covenant the next day, he found that Aaron's staff, representing the tribe of Levi, had sprouted, budded, blossomed, and produced ripe almonds. That is so cool. When Moses brought all the staffs out from the Lord's presence, he showed them to the people, and each man claimed his own staff. And the Lord said to Moses, "Place Aaron's staff permanently before the Ark of the Covenant to serve as a warning to rebels. This should put an end to their complaints against me and prevent any further deaths." So Moses did as the Lord commanded him. Then the people of Israel said to Moses, "Look, we are doomed. We are dead. We are ruined." All right, we are doomed, dead, and ruined. Everyone who even comes close to the tabernacle of the Lord dies. Are we all excuse me, are we all doomed to die? Let's see where we're at here. We're in 21. Are we all doomed to die? Chapter 18. Then the Lord said to Aaron, you and your sons and your relatives from the tribe of Levi will be held responsible for any offenses related to the sanctuary. But you and your sons alone will be held responsible for violations connected with the priesthood. Bring your relatives of the tribe of Levi, your ancestral tribe, to assist you and your sons as you perform the sacred duties in front of the tabernacle of the covenant. Oh, I got to stretch here. But as the Levites go about their assigned duties at the tabernacle, they must be careful not to go near any of the sacred objects or the altar. If they do, both you and they will die. The Levites must join you in fulfilling their responsibilities for the care and the maintenance of the tabernacle, but no unauthorized person may assist you. You yourselves must perform the sacred duties inside the sanctuary at the altar. If you follow these instructions, the Lord's anger will never blaze against the people of Israel. I myself have chosen your fellow Levites from among the Israelites to be your special assistants. They are a gift to you, dedicated to the Lord for service in the tabernacle. But you and your sons, the priests, must personally handle all the priestly rituals associated with the altar and with everything behind the inner curtain. I'm giving you the priesthood as a special privilege of service. Any unauthorized person who comes too near the sanctuary will be put to death. The Lord gave these further instructions to Aaron. I myself have put you in charge of all the holy offerings that are brought to me by the people of Israel. I've given all these consecrated offerings to you and your sons and your as a permanent share. You are allotted the portion of the most holy offerings that is not burned on the fire. This portion of all the most holy offerings, including the grain offerings, sin offerings, and guilt offerings, will be most holy, and it belongs to you and your sons. You must eat it as a most holy offering. All the males may eat of it, and you must treat it as most holy. All the sacred offerings and special offerings presented to me when the Israelites lift up their altar also belong to you. I've given them to you and your sons and your daughters as a permanent share. Any member of your family who is ceremonially clean may eat of these offerings. I also give you the harvest gifts brought by the people as offerings to the Lord, the best olive oil, new wine, and grain. All the first crops of the land and the people present to the Lord belong to you. Any member of your family who is ceremonially clean may eat this food. Everything in Israel that is specially set apart for the Lord also belongs to you. The firstborn of every mother, whether human or animal, that is offered to the Lord will be yours. But you must always redeem your firstborn sons and firstborn of ceremonially. I cannot get that word, chat. I just can't. Sarah, say it together with me. Ceremonially unclean animals. Redeem them when they are 1 month old. The redemption price is 5 pieces of silver. However, you may not redeem the firstborn of cattle, sheep, or goats. They are holy and have been set apart for the Lord. Sprinkle their blood on the altar and burn their fat as a special gift, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. The meat of these animals will be yours, just like the breast and right thigh are presented by lifting up a special offering. Yes, I'm giving you all these holy offerings that the people of Israel bring to the Lord. They are for you and your sons and your daughters to be eaten as your permanent share. This is an eternal and unbreakable covenant between the Lord and you, and it also applies to your descendants. And the Lord said to Aaron, you priests will have no allotment of land or share the property among the people of Israel. I am your share and your allotment. As for the tribe of Levi, your relatives, I will compensate them for their service in the tabernacle. The theme you're getting here, guys, is if you serve in the house of the Lord, God will provide for you. Finances, food, whatever it is. He goes, I'll compensate that's in the tabernacle. Instead of an allotment of land, I will give them tithes from the entire land of Israel. I will give them the tithes. So he's saying these tribes and Levites and like, you're not making money by working in the temple, but I will give you the people's tithes for your labor. From now on, no Israelites except priests or Levites may approach the tabernacle. If they come too near, they will be judged guilty and will die. Only the Levites may serve at the tabernacle, and they will be held responsible for any offenses against it. This is a permanent law for you to be observed from generation to generation. The Levites will receive no allotment or land among the Israelites. This is a long chapter. Because I've given the Israelites tithes, which have been presented as sacred offerings to the Lord, this will be the Levites' share. That is why I said they will receive no allotment of land among the Israelites. The Lord also told Moses, give these instructions to the Levites. When you receive from the people of Israel the tithes I've assigned as your allotment, give a tenth of the tithes you received, a tithe of the tithe, to the Lord as a sacred offering. The Lord will consider this offering to be your harvest offering, as though it were the first grain from your own threshing floor or wine from your own winepress. You must present 1/10 of the tithe received from the Israelites as a sacred offering to the Lord. This is what the Lord's sacred portion, and you must present it to Aaron the priest. Be sure to give the Lord the best portion of the gifts given to you. Also, give these instructions to the Levites. When you present the best part of your offering, it'll be considered though it came from your own threshing floor or winepress. You Levites and your families may eat this food anywhere you wish, for it is your compensation for serving in the tabernacle. You will not be considered guilty for accepting the Lord's tithes if you give the best portion to the priests. But be careful not to treat the holy gifts of the people of Israel as though they were common. If you do, you will die. Chapter 19, we're getting there. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, here is another legal requirement commanded by the Lord. Tell the people of Israel to bring you a red heifer, a perfect animal that has no defects and has never been yoked to a plow. Give it to Eleazar the priest, and it will be taken outside the camp and slaughtered in his presence. Eleazar will take some of the blood on his finger and sprinkle it 7 times towards the front of the tabernacle. As Eleazar watches, the heifer must be burned, its hide, meat, blood, and dung. Eleazar the priest must then take a stick of cedar, a hyssop branch, and some scarlet yarn and throw them in the fire where the heifer is burning. Then the priest must wash his clothes and bathe himself in the water. Afterward, he may return to the camp, though he will remain ceremonially unclean until evening. The man who burns the animal must also wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and he too will remain unclean until evening. Then someone who is ceremonially clean will gather up the ashes of the heifer and deposit them in the purified place outside the camp. They will be kept there for the community of Israel to use in the water for the purification ceremony. This ceremony is performed for the removal of sin. The man who gathers up the ashes of the heifer must also wash his clothes, and he'll remain ceremonially unclean until the evening. This is a permanent law for the people of Israel and any foreigners who live among them. All those who touch a dead human body will be ceremonially unclean for 7 days. They will purify themselves on the 3rd and 7th day with water of purification. Then they will be purified. But if they do not do this on the 3rd and 7th days, they will continue to be unclean even after the 7th day. All those who touch a dead body and do not purify themselves in the proper way defile the Lord's tabernacle, and they will be cut off from the community of Israel. Since the water of purification was not sprinkled on them, their defilement continues. This is the ritual law that applies when someone dies inside a tent, and all those who enter that tent, those who were inside when the death occurred, will be ceremonially unclean for 7 days. That word. Any open container in the tent was not covered with a lid is also defiled. And if someone in an open field touches the corpse of someone who was killed with a sword or died a natural death, or if someone touches a human bone or a grave, that person will be defiled for 7 days. To remove the defilement, put some of the ashes from the burnt purification offering in a jar and pour fresh water over them. Then someone who is ceremonially clean must take a hyssop branch and dip it into the water. That person must sprinkle the water on the tent, all the furnishings in the tent, and on the people who were in the tent, also on the people who touched a human bone or touched someone who was killed or died naturally or touched a grave. On the 3rd and 7th days, the person who is ceremonially clean must sprinkle the water on those who are defiled. Then on the 7th day, the people being cleansed must wash their clothes and bathe themselves, and at evening they will be cleansed of their defilement. But those who become defiled and do not purify themselves will be cut off from the community, for they have defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. Since the water of purification has not been sprinkled on them, they remain defiled. This is a permanent law for the people. Those who sprinkle the water of purification must afterward wash their clothes, and anyone who anything and anyone that defiled a person anything and anyone that a defiled person touches will be ceremonially unclean until evening. Chapter 20. In the first month of the year, the whole community of Israel arrived in the wilderness of Zin and camped at Kadesh. While they were there, Miriam died and was burned. There was no water for the people to drink at that place, so they rebelled against Moses and Aaron. We're seeing a theme here. Rebellion. The people blamed Moses and said, if we only died in the Lord's presence with our brothers, why have you brought us to the congregation of the Lord's people into the wilderness to die along with all our livestock? Why did you make us leave Egypt and bring us here to this terrible place, this land that has no grain, no figs, no grapes, no pomegranates, and no water to drink? Moses and Aaron turned from the people and went to the entrance of the tabernacle, where they fell face down to the ground. Then the glorious presence of the Lord appeared to them. And the Lord said to Moses, you and Aaron must take the staff and assemble the entire community. As the people watch, speak to the rock over there, and it will pour out its water. You will provide enough water from the rock to satisfy the whole community and their livestock. So Moses did it as he was told, and he took the staff from the place where it was kept before the Lord. Then him and Aaron summoned the people together at the rock. Listen, you rebels, he shouted. Must we bring you water from this rock? Then Moses raised his hand and struck the rock twice with the staff, and water gushed out. The entire community and the livestock drank their fill. But the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, because you did not trust me enough to demonstrate my holiness to the people of Israel. You will not lead them in the land I'm giving you. So this very act was the reason why Moses and Aaron could not go to the land, which is sad. We got to be specific when the Lord speaks to us. If he doesn't say strike it, don't strike it. Amen. This place was known as the waters of Meribah, which means arguing, because the people of Israel argued with the Lord and he demonstrated his holiness among them. When Moses was at Kadesh, he sent ambassadors to the king of Edom with this message. This is what your relatives, the people of Israel, say. You know all the hardships we've been through. Our ancestors went down to Egypt and lived there a long time, and we and our ancestors were brutally mistreated by the Egyptians. But then we cried out to the Lord, and he heard us and sent an angel who brought us out of Egypt. Now we are camped at Kadesh, a town at the border of your land. Please let us travel through your land. We will be careful not to go through your fields and vineyards. We won't even drink water from your wells. We'll stay on the king's road and never leave until we pass through. But the kings of Edom said, stay out of our land, or I'll meet you with an army. The Israelites answered, we will stay on the main road. If you or your livestock drink your water, we'll pay you for it. Just let us pass through. That's all we ask. But the king of Edom replied, stay out. You must not pass through our land. With that, he mobilized his army and marched against them with an imposing force. Because Edom refused to let Israel pass through, Israel was forced to turn around. The whole community of Israel left Kadesh and arrived at Mount Hor. There, on the border of the land of Edom, the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, the time has come for Aaron to join his ancestors in death. He will not enter the land I'm giving the people of Israel, because the two of you rebelled against my instructions concerning the water at Meribah. Now take Aaron and his sons Eleazar up Mount Hor. There you will remove Aaron's priestly garments. How sad. There you'll remove Aaron's priestly garments and put them on Eleazar his son, and Aaron will die there and join his ancestors. Wow. So Moses did as the Lord commanded. The three of them went up Mount Hor together as the whole community watched. At the summit, Moses removed the priestly garments from Aaron and put them on Eleazar, Aaron's son. Then Aaron died there on top of the mountain. And Moses and Eleazar went back down. When the people realized Aaron had died, all of Israel mourned for 30 days. Wow, okay. We got one more chapter here. All right, it's a long boy. We're going to do chapter 21. Here we go. One more. 50 minutes in. Let's do it here. The Canaanite king, chapter 21. The Canaanite king of Arad, who lived in the Negev, heard that the Israelites were approaching on the road through Atharim. So he attacked the Israelites and took them as prisoners. Then the people of Israel made this vow to the Lord. If you will hand these people over to us, we will completely destroy all their towns. The Lord heard the Israelites' request and gave them victory over the Canaanites. The Israelites completely destroyed them and their towns, and the place had been called Hormah ever since. Then the people set out from Mount Hor, taking the road to the sea, to go around the land of Edom, but the people grew impatient with the long journey. They began to speak against God and Moses. Why have you brought us out of here to die in the wilderness, they complained. There's nothing out here and nothing to drink, and we ate this horrible manna. So the Lord sent out poisonous snakes among the people, and they were bitten and died. Imagine if every time you complained, a snake bit you, and we'd all be dead. We'd all be dead. Then the people came to Moses and cried out, you have sinned by speaking against the Lord and against you. Pray that the Lord will take away the snakes. So Moses prayed for the people, and the Lord told him, make a replica of a poisonous snake and attach it to a pole. All who are bitten will live if they simply look at it. Now, this is also an archetype of Jesus being lifted up on the cross, Jesus becoming the curse, and when you look to Jesus, the curse of sin is broken off you. So the snake is an archetype of what Jesus would do on the cross. So Moses took a snake out of bronze and attached it to a pole. Then anyone who was bitten by a snake, obviously the snake represents the enemy, sin, would look at the bronze snake and be healed. Look to Jesus, he will heal you. The Israelites traveled next to Obath and camped there. Then they went on to Abarim in the wilderness of the eastern border of Moab. From there, they traveled to the valley of Zered Brook and set up camp. They moved out camp and camped on the far side of the Arnon River in the wilderness adjacent to the territory of the Amorites. The Arnon is the boundary line between the Moabites and the Amorites. For this reason, the book of the wars of the Lord speaks of the town of Waheb and the area of the Sufa and the ravines of the Arnon River, and the ravines that extend as far as the settlement of Ar and the border of Moab. From there, the Israelites traveled to Beer, which is well where the Lord said to Moses, assemble the people and I will give them water. Oh, which is the well. Sorry, guys. After an hour, everything just gets jumbled. There the Israelites sang the song. Spring up, O well. Yes, sing its praises. Sing of this well, which princes dung. okay, which great leaders hollowed out with their scepters and staffs. When the Israelites left the wilderness and proceeded through Mattanah, Nathaliel, and Bamoth, after they went to the valley in Moab, where Pisgah Peak overlooks the wasteland. Verse 21. The Israelites sent ambassadors to King Sihon of the Amorites with this message: let us travel through your land. We'll be careful not to go through your fields and vineyards. We won't even drink water from your wells, and we'll stay on the king's road as we pass through your territory. But the king Sihon refused to let them cross his territory. Instead, he mobilized his entire army and attacked Israel in the wilderness, engaging them in the battle at Jahaz. But the Israelites slaughtered them with their swords and occupied their land from Arnon River to the Jabbok River. They went only as far as the Ammonite border because the boundary of the Ammonites was fortified. So Israel captured all the towns of the Amorites and settled in them, including the city of Heshbon and its surrounding villages. Heshbon had been the capital of King Sihon of the Amorites. He had defeated a former Moabite king and seized all his land as far as the Arnon River. Therefore, the ancient poets wrote this about him. Come to Heshbon and let it be rebuilt. Let the city of Sihon be restored. A fire flamed forth from Heshbon, a blaze from the city of Sihon. It burned the city of Ar in Moab. It destroyed the rulers of the Arnon heights. What sorrow awaits, O people of Moab? You are finished, O worshippers of Chemosh. Chemosh has left his sons as refugees, his daughters as captives of Sihon, the Amorite king. We have utterly destroyed them. From Heshbon to Dibon, we have completely wiped them out as far as Nophah to Medeba. So the people of Israel occupied the territory of the Amorites. After Moses sent them to explore the Jazer area, they captured all the towns and the regions and drove out the Amorites who lived there. Then they turned and marched up towards the road to Bashan. But King Og of Bashan and all his people attacked them at Edrei. The Lord said to Moses, do not be afraid of him, for I've handed him over to you, along with all his people and his land. Do the same to him as you did King Sihon of the Amorites, who ruled in Heshbon. And Israel killed King Agag, King Og, his sons, and all his subjects. Not a single survivor remained. Then Israel occupied their land. We did it. Ladies and gentlemen, give yourself a round of applause. We did it. We did it. We did it. Oh, this is upside down. I'll press the power button, Isaiah. We finished day number 11 of the Bible in 90 days. I want to say thank you, as always, for every single one of you being here every single day. I know you are. Amen. Type 1 in the chat if you're here. If you've watched till the end on the replay, type God is good in the comments so that we know that you watched till the very end. And I'm grateful that you guys are joining. Please pray for Alyssa. She's having major surgery tomorrow. So I'll be playing a pre-recorded tomorrow. The day, like I've said before, the days that I can't go live, I'll record pre-recordeds to go live because I can't go live every single day at 2. So I will record them and then air them at 2 because tomorrow we'll be at the hospital. She broke her nose in high school and it never healed. It's been crooked and broken, forever since high school. And so she's getting it fixed tomorrow, along with some other breathing issues she's having in her nose. So she's getting like a major surgery. You won't see her on these readings for a while because she's going to have 2 black eyes and a bruised face. But be praying for her for speedy recovery. I'm going to be holding down the fort. We're having some family will help as well. I'll be live every day at 2 o'clock. Again, the days that I can't be, like tomorrow where I'm at the hospital, I will be recording and airing them. So I want to say thank you to every one of you joining. Those of you supporting us financially, all of our content is free. You can support with the link on screen. All right. Or in the comments. Tonight, 6 p.m., in a couple hours, we will be live with Jenny Weaver talking about the spirit of Python. So you don't want to miss that. She hasn't been on in almost a year. So it's going to be a great time tonight at 6 o'clock. Please come back right here. I'll hang out with the chat after tonight's stream, talk to you guys and engage. Please come back tonight at 6. I love and appreciate every single one of you. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. That is it for day number 11. Thank you for watching. I'll be back probably another hour or so. I'm going to show you another video of the Butcher channel that I aired last night, an updated version of it, because they did a replay of that cutting up the cow and the steaks. So I think you'll like it. I'll be back in about an hour or so. God bless you. May the Lord bless you. Hopefully this 90-day Bible challenge is helping you out. I pray that it is. In the name of Jesus, amen. See you in a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Raymond got the Bible, thumb on the spine. Isaiah signed the VAR, set the pace at the time. 90 days, no flex, just pages and grind. From Genesis to Revelation, he's walking the line. Early in the morning, before the world calls. One chapter at a time, he don't skip, he don't stop. He read it in the dark, then he read it again. What started as a seed turned the room into amen. From the first book to the last page, keep the fire lit, keep the heart engaged. One day, one word, one step, one breath. Raymond stay faithful to the finish of the test. 90-day Bible read, 90-day Bible read, Genesis to Revelation. 90-day Bible read, read it. Raymond on the word, Raymond on the word. Isaiah on a journey, and the truth gets heard. He got a pen in his hand, marks in the margin, promises underlined like he's building the garden. Psalms for the hurt, Proverbs for the walk, Gospels for the hunger when the night get dark. He don't need a stage, he don't need a crown, just a quiet little yes when the pressure come down. And every chapter hit like a fresh new lane, from the old world dust to the Lamb's bright rain. From the first book to the last page, keep the fire lit, keep the heart engaged. One day, one word, one step, one breath. Raymond stay faithful to the finish of the test. 90-day Bible read, 90-day Bible read, Genesis to Revelation. 90-day Bible read, read it. Raymond on the word, Raymond on the word. Isaiah on the journey, and the truth gets heard. Feel tired, he still turns the page with the holy desire. No fast talk, no smoke, just the soul in tune. Morning after morning till the whole book bloom. 90-day Bible read, 90-day Bible read, Genesis to Revelation. 90-day Bible read, read it. Raymond on the word, Raymond on the word. Journey, and the truth gets heard.